In this video, I want to teach you how to ride a dirt bike with the proper foot position. What's up guys, I'm Dakota Freeman and welcome to the Rad Adventure Dude channel. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, make sure you hit that and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future dirt bike riding tips. It is going to be so crucial to our dirt bike riding that we learn how to ride a dirt bike with the proper foot position. So when we are just learning how to ride a dirt bike, the proper foot position is going to be very important to learning and instilling good habits now so you have good habits later in your riding. It's going to be important that we stand on the balls of our feet. The balls of our feet are going to be just behind our toes, but in front of our arch. This way you have good articulation out of your boots. It gives you more grip on the pegs and you're able to grip better with your knees because you're on the balls of your feet. And this is really going to improve our dirt bike riding position. So as our feet are going to rest with the balls of our feet on the pegs, you're going to have to move your feet to get to the gear shifter or the back brake. And this is good because we're not going to accidentally hit either of these controls on our dirt bikes. So as you're learning the proper foot position on your dirt bike, get comfortable with being able to move your feet around on the pegs and know how to get to the gear shifter or the rear brake whenever you need to. And it should be very comfortable that whenever we're moving our feet around on the pegs, we can always get them right back to where we need to and be on the balls of our feet in an instant. This way, if something's coming at us on the tracks or the trails, we don't have to think about it and we can get in the right body position to be able to handle what's coming at us on the trail. The next thing about our foot position is that we want to use our feet to actually grip the dirt bike. When we're gripping with the dirt bike, we're going to use our entire lower body, but since we're talking about our foot position here, we're going to also think about how we grip with the ankles. We kind of want to be able to squeeze the bike a little bit, just like a handshake with our ankles. And this is really just going to make sure that we have a good grip over the dirt bike and that we're gripping with the rest of our lower body as well. A good tip that you can do to your riding if you're struggling with this is to actually point your toes in. If your feet are pointed out on the pegs, it's actually going to want to open your knees up and it's going to be harder to grip the motorcycle. So if you point your toes in, we're going to do the opposite of this, and actually it's going to make your knees want to squeeze the motorcycle. So whenever we're learning the proper foot position on our dirt bikes, it's important that we really grip the bike with our feet and our knees. The more that we can stay connected with the dirt bike here is just going to give us better overall comfort and confidence on the bike. So whenever you're hitting bumps, jumps, or whoops, or anything on the tracks and trails, you're going to be the most connected to the bike that you can possibly be. This is going to make you feel so much better when you're riding your dirt bike, as you're not having to think and worry about all these different things, and you're always just naturally going to want to rest your feet in a good proper foot position, which would be on the balls of your feet on the pegs. So the next thing we want to cover about our foot position is actually going to be shifting our weight on our feet. Being able to shift your weight from one peg to the other peg can really help you adjust the dirt bike and move if you need to. You can also shift your weight forward and back on the dirt bike, being able to increase weight on the front tire or the rear tire. So getting comfortable with being able to shift your weight all around on the dirt bike is also going to be important to our foot position. Just like before, we're always standing on the balls of our feet and gripping the bike with our ankles. Then as you begin to shift your weight around, you're going to actually feel how the bike responds, and you're going to get more comfortable with this over time. The most important part here is just getting comfortable. So being able to practice this over and over is going to really help you introduce this into your riding as you get better. It's not the most important whenever you're learning to be able to move your weight around like this, but once we're really wanting to become better dirt bike riders, it is very important that we can move our weight around just based on instincts. We'll no longer even have to think about where our body's going or why we're moving there, but we're already going to know exactly where to move our body. We also need to think about our foot position when we're in corners. When we're in a corner, you're going to have your front foot out in front of you and kind of counterbalancing the fact that you're leaning the bike to the inside. Well, your outside foot is still going to be on the balls of the feet on the peg. So now when we're going around a corner, we want to actually drive our body weight into this outside foot peg. This outside foot peg is going to really just give you as much traction over both wheels and really help you not slide out in a corner. This is important because When you begin to drive your weight into this outside foot peg like this, you're going to get so much more traction and control out of your dirt bike. And this will really help you when you're riding and going fast around corners. So are you feeling better and more comfortable with your foot position on your dirt bikes? Make sure you like this video and drop some comments down below and ask me any other questions that you have. So now that we've covered a lot of our foot position on riding the dirt bike and going around corners, how do we want our foot position when we're standing up? Well, it's going to be important that when we stand up, just like always, we are standing on the balls of our feet. The balls of our feet, when we're standing, just assure that we can move around on the bike the best we possibly can. We can also shift our weight around on these pegs as we're standing, forward, back, or side to side, and micro adjust the bike in little ways to really improve our riding style. The most important part about being on the balls of our feet while we're standing is to give our entire body more suspension. When you're on the balls of your feet, you're going to have more articulation out of your ankle. And when you're standing and not even touching the dirt bike with the rest of your body, you're now going to have your entire legs as a shock absorber as well. So when we're standing on the balls of our feet, gripping with the lower body, the bike can actually jump around and do all sorts of crazy bumps, jumps, and whoops, and our body should really stay as smooth as possible. As you master this foot position and art of keeping our body nice and still, it's really going to improve your dirt bike riding, because you can focus more on what's going on around you and worrying about that, as opposed to what's going on with the dirt bike and it kind of throwing you around. Once you begin to master this art of your foot position and being able to stand up and get off the seat of the dirt bike, putting all that together is really going to take you to the next level. So make sure you practice your foot position over time, as it's really going to be important that you master this to master your dirt bike riding. So something that we do need to look out for is if you do hit a bump that you're not expecting on the trail, you could possibly get your feet knocked off of the pegs. So what do we need to do with our feet if this happens? Well, it's very important that we get our feet back on the pegs as soon as possible. If you do get bumped in this kind of way, you focus on your handlebars and keep your front wheel pointed in the direction that you're going, and what's going on behind the bike and even with your body at this point is going to matter a lot less. As long as the front wheel is pointed where you're going, you can then focus on getting your feet back to the pegs and getting back in the proper riding position. This definitely happens a lot when we're out on the trails and on the tracks. So expecting the unexpected becomes something familiar for us on the dirt bike trails, and we really have to be ready for anything when we're out on the tracks and trails. So mastering your foot position really needs to start at the beginning of your riding. We don't want to develop bad habits from the beginning and then have to fix them later. We really want to instill good habits here at the beginning of our riding and make sure that you have good foot position when you're learning how to ride your dirt bike. So later, when you actually are mastering other parts of your riding, you're going to have good foot position and no longer even have to think about this part of your riding. I'm really excited to be able to help you guys get better on your dirt bike and give you more confidence in your riding. If you're still looking for more dirt bike riding tips, well, I'm always here. I've made a full dirt bike riding course over on my website. So make sure you go check this course out, as it's going to take you from a beginner rider all the way to an advanced rider mastering the tracks and trails. You can also find my rad merch over at the website as well. If this video helped you, make sure you like this video and drop some comments down below and ask me any other questions that you have. Make sure you click the subscribe button that's right here and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future dirt bike riding tips. After that, you can watch my next video on how to use your clutch right here. Stay rad, and I'll see you guys over there.